I think we all been there when someone hits us for no discernible reason. Let me be clear, I don't think hitting others solves anything. That said, fighting fire with fire works sometimes, but usually at the expense of something being burnt. For example, I realize some girls have a tendency to hit guys for simply disagreeing with them, and some guys hit girls who drive them crazy. Both are wrong. Some may argue that one is worse than the other, but that's a matter of ideological perspective. But my opinion is, I believe you should not hit anyone, boy or girl, especially just for saying something you don't like. That said, I have 3 rules on this. Let's call them Dooti's 3 rules of physical engagement. RPE, it's like conditions for a religious war. Every one of them must be met before I personally retaliate. Rule 1, if the person is substantially smaller than you, then take this into consideration. This is what bullies do, i.e., don't pick on the weak or hit girls. Say whatever you want. Tell me about my mother, even. But don't you dare hit me unless I hit you first. If we don't start hitting, then we will remain civil, and I won't have to strangle you for your mother comment. If you do hit me, I will assume you're coming to take my life, and then I'm going to go down swinging. I'm from the north of Bim, and if you think you can take me, you know nothing, John Doe. This goes for both men and women. My 3rd rule definitely supersedes the first 2.
These rules are confusing. How could you hit a girl?
Gotta say, Conscious may have a point on this one. Sounds pretty despicable to me.
Relax, both of you. Girls, if you want equality or fairness in the world, then don't hit guys, period. And vice versa. I am not taking sides. But girls, please understand that chivalry is dead and equality killed it. If you're not willing to be hit, then don't do it to someone else. No one's talking about this, but some girls put themselves willingly in positions to be harmed. I wouldn't dare go and hit a guy 3 times my size unless I was ready to face the consequences of it. However, I've seen girls hit guys 4, maybe 5 times their size, and then stand up and taunt the guy afterwards saying, "What are you gonna do about it?" That's crazy. We all know what happens if a guy gets into the taunting. This is the story of how I was abused, how I had a pee moment. This is the story of the Slappening. Now, I've changed the names because Barbados is a small island after all, and I dare you to find it on a plain old globe without Google's help. So this story starts when I was telling my friend about an earlier incident at school. This friend I'm gonna call 1010, since I'm not going to give her much screen time. 1010 was a small cute girl who was so into Twilight. Once she called me at the end of the first film and she was like crying, saying he loved her so much that he didn't want to kill her. And I was like, sure. And I was like, okay, click. That's enough of that. And okay, so I was telling her my position on hitting. I remember saying to her, I don't think anyone should slap anyone else unless they were planning to get slapped back themselves. And she replied knowingly, you're talking about what happened with Little Joker. This kid right here, he's Little Joker. So remember him, he was big news within the grapevine that. You see, at school, news of this incident traveled faster than the spoilers of the season finales of Game of Thrones. Jon Snow is dead, or is he? So everyone in our year knew about Little Joker, and to all you out there who are like, wait, you watched Game of Thrones? Don't you dare spoil anything from me. I read the books. I am better than you. Anyways, 1010 was referring to the event I dubbed the Slappening that happened earlier that day. You see, we had gotten a new substitute teacher, Mr. Freeze. Well, that's what I'm calling him anyways, because I don't really remember his real name, and back then I just thought he was really cool. Our usual art teacher was a shop steward who was going to war against our principal, the Mad King Brooms. Something to do with the teachers union revolting or whatever. Ignoring that, our class assignment was drawing the art concept, the blues. I remembered our usual teacher said, with her arm of complaints ready, that
This isn't going to be any raunchy drawings. No porn or nudity. We're not talking about those types of blues, people.
she meant jazz and music concept. Some boys in the classroom ignored her. Duh, because we had a sub who could care less because he was cool. I can't fully display what was drawn on on this YouTube channel because I make family friendly content. So yeah, Mr. Freeze was a pretty chill guy who let us draw whatever and supported it. All in all, it was a pretty regular art class until we heard, "Shut up!" Little Joker shouted angrily, followed by a deafening. He wrung his hand into this girl's face. Let's call her Tiny Harley, for discretion's sake. It sent a wave of silence across the room. Only cricketers could be heard. Oxda! Full disclosure, I honestly can't say what she did or said for him to slap her. I was too busy drawing. But I knew what type of girl she was. The type that loves to push your buttons. She was an undercover bully, you know the ones. The girls who are well developed before their time, have very attractive looks, and pretend to be an innocent goody two-shoes type of person when they're the bane of everyone else's existence. That type. Don't get me wrong, I ain't condoning violence, even against bullies, or saying that she deserves it, but I wasn't really surprised either. What actually shocked me was what Mr. Freeze did. He appeared out of thin air, towering over all of us like a titan. He grabbed Joker by his collar and then he slapped him 4 times. Each slap came with a piece of a sentence. 1 slap, don't you ever. 2 slap, hit. 3 slap, a girl. 4 slap, in my class. Then he started screaming, "Nora! Nora! Nora!" Okay, he didn't actually say that last part. I know this isn't that funny because none of us at the time could grasp it. We just saw a teacher hit a student in the face, especially Lil Joker. He looked like he wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. His face just went full on crazy. So to simplify things, Joker slapped Harley and was slapped in return by Mr. Freeze, who was slapped in turn with walking papers by the school, I believe. I don't really know. He was a sub. It's Sub-Zero. Bad pun. So, back at the bus stop, this is what I was explaining to 1010. I told her, as her bus was pulling up to the stop, that I've never slapped anyone, and I've never been slapped. And from observing the day's event, violence seems to never really solve anything. 1010 gave me a blank stare, and next thing I knew, my face was ringing. I look up and saw all the passengers in the bus gaping at me, probably asking what I did to her for her to do what she did to me. What did she do exactly? Out of the blue, she had slapped me and then ran into her bus, sticking her tongue out. I was mortified. In all honesty, I wanted to slap her back. I didn't care what anyone said, but I did it
because you're a good person deep down inside. You'd never hit a girl even though you said you would.
No, it just wasn't his bus. So as soon as I got home, I called her up, still livid, mind you, to ask, why? Why, 1010, did you slap me? She replied, "Oh, because you were a virgin to it." That logic. Imagine, just for a second, if you saw a man in court who used the same defense. Well, I beat her up because she was a virgin to it. We would throw him in jail and throw away the key. I am not thinking that this is pretty hyperbolic, but still, I had to stop being her friend after that. By the way, I wonder what advice Mr. Freeze would have given me. I mean, if he still was our teacher.
Probably. Let it go! Let it go!
Hey, so if you were wondering what shirt I'm wearing, it's a mass casualty shirt. It's soft, awesome, and not as gothic as the pun suggests. You guys who got the pun straight off, kudos! I only recently figured it out. Think about shirts dying. If you want one of these amazing shirts, then visit the Facebook page, Mass Casualties. Hit the button and tell them Dooti sent you!
You spell 1010's real name and the names of her immediate and extended family?
Why?
No reason. I just wanted to write a wonderful note in my diary about her.
Sure. Oh my god, Gigi.
She slapped you, okay?
And you thought an appropriate response was to kill her and her innocent loved ones?
It seemed right, only fair.